Good morning, everyone. Today we are here with a new question series of computer for KVS and NVS. So here we will see in the context of MS Word 2019, the keystroke go to location of last chain, that is Shift plus F5. So Shift plus F5, the keystroke go to the location on the last chain. Alt plus 5 F6 is switching among top level windows in an application. Control plus FH, choose the move command. Control plus Shift plus F8, select for a column. Now here we will see some shortcut keys. So open a document. It is related to Control plus O. Open a document, Control plus O. Create a document for Control plus N. Control plus N is related to create a new document. Control plus S means save the document. Close the document. Control plus W. Close the document. Control plus W. Cut the selected content to the clipboard. That is Control plus X. That is Control plus X. Copy the selected content to the clipboard. That is Control plus C. Paste the content. Control plus V. Select all the document content, Control plus A. Apply bold formatting to the text, Control plus V. Apply italic formatting to text, Control plus I. Underline, Control plus U. Decrease the font, Control plus bracket. Increase the font, Control plus bracket close. Now here center the text, Control plus E. Align to the text left, Control plus L. Align to the text to the right, Control plus R. Cancel a command, ESE. Cancel a command, ESE. ESE. Undo the previous action. Undo the previous action, Control plus Z. Redo the previous action if possible, Control plus Y. Adjust the zoom magnification, Control Alt plus W, Q. The tab is zoom dialog box to the value you want. Alt plus W. Split the document window. Split the document window. Control plus Alt plus S. Control plus Alt plus S. Remove the document window. Alt plus Shift plus C. Alt plus Shift plus C. Or Control plus Alt plus S. Control plus Alt plus S. Now here we will see the next question. Now, which of the following protocol define that how the data is formatted and transmitted over the network, that is HTTP. So HTTP means Hypertext Transfer Protocol is the protocol used by the World Wide Web to define how messages are formatted and transmitted. When a user enter a URL or click on a web link, the web browser send an HTTP request to the web browser server hosting the web page. The server processes this request and respond by sending back the requested web page HTML code to the browser. The browser renders this HTML code into the visual format that the user can see and interact with on the screen. HTTP is fundamental to the functioning of web browsers, enabling them to fetch and display web pages. Popular web browsers like Google, Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, Microsoft Edge, and Safari use HTTP to communicate with web servers. Now, additional information, HTTP operates at the application layer of the Internet Protocol suite, utilizing TCP IP for data transmission. Web browsers offer features like bookmarks, histories, and extension to enhance the user experience. Modern browsers incorporate security measures to protect users for malicious websites and cyber threats. Aside from HTTP, web browsers also support other protocols like HTTPS, Secure HTTP, FTP, File Transfer Protocol, and more. HTTP by second and undated version of HTTP provides improved performance and security features. So here we will understand HTTP is a type hypertext transfer protocol is the protocol used by the World Wide Web to define how messages are formatted and transmitted. Now, which of the following devices are computer output device only? So these are B, D, E. So B is plotter, D is projector, and E is speaker. So the correct answer is projector, plotter, and speaker. Computer output devices are hardware component that convey information to one or more people. They take the data from the computer and convert it into a form that can be perceived by the user. Common output devices include monitors, printers, speakers, and projectors. Plotter. A plotter is an output device that is used for printing vector graphics. It is draw images on the paper using a pen. Plotters are typically used in engineering and architectural design to produce high quality, large scale drawing. Projector. A projector is an output device that projects visual output from a computer onto the large screen for viewing by an audience. Projectors are commonly used in presentations, classrooms, and home theaters. Speakers are output device used to produce sound. They convert digital audio signal from the computer into the audible sound. Speakers are used for playing music, videos, and other audio content. Now, scanner. A scanner is an output input device that converts physical documents into the digital format. It is not an output device. Light pen. A light pen is an input device used for drawing or selecting objects on a display screen. It is not an output device. Now dash. Internal buses concept to CPU to various internal component and expansion card for graphic and sound. So that is internal Internal buses. The central processing unit CPU is considered as a brain of the computer as it performs all the type of data processing operation. Also, it controls the operation of all part of the computer. So first we will read about the random access memory. So what is this? RAM, so it is store data that the computer need to use centrally. It is faster than the secondary storage devices. It is a volatile memory. The data disappear from it when the power is off. It is known as a read-write memory. Example, the user can write information into RAM and read information from it. It is called random access since any memory location can be accessed randomly for the reading and writing. The access time is the same time for the same memory location. It is usually called the temporary memory, which means that when the system is shut down, the memory is lost. Additional information BIOS क्या है? Basic Input and Output System is the built-in core processor software that is responsible for booting up to the computer. It is fixed in computer as a motherboard chip. It functions as drive for PC functionality action. Chipset क्या है? It acts as a glue and attaches the microprocessor to rest of the motherboard and consequently to rest of the computer. Internal buses क्या है? It operates internally in a computer system. It carries data and operation as a standard bus. Although it is only used for connecting and interacting with the internal computer component. It enables the communication between internal components such as video card and memory. Hence, the internal bus connect the CPU to various internal component and to expansions card for graphic and sound. Now, the next answer. Which of the following character reader is equipped with the character recognition software? So that is optical character reader. So an optical character reader device can read data that has been typed or handwritten on the source document. It is a combination of a scanner and a spatial software which convert the printed on handwritten data to ASCII. It is used to convert the paper record into the electric feeling and scan challan into the spreadsheet. Additional information: magnetic ink character recognition. So, magnetic ink character recognition machine are capable of reading magnetic ink character or magnetic ink character readers (MICR) document. Magnetic ink character recognition is the character recognition technology adopted mainly by the banking industry to facilitate the processing of check. The ability to process check and deduct payment amount using a routing number is one of the advantage of the magnetic ink character recognition line. Optical mark recognition क्या है? Optical mark reader OMR, sometimes called the mark sense reader, detect the presence of pencil mark or the predetermined grade. OMR device work with a dedicated scanner device that throw a beam on the light on the form of paper. It is used to check the objective test mark sheet, lottery ticket, and officially form. Image scanner. Image scanner, also called a scanner, scan image, handwriting, printed text, or object and convert them into a digital image. It is like a photocopy machine. Now next, what type of non-volatile memory would most likely store firmware like a computer's by BIOS? So that is EPROM. So non-volatile memory is a memory that retains its value from when power is removed. For example, non-volatile memory can store controller program code for device such as hard disk driver, HDD, and disk tapes. Other type of non-volatile memory (NVM) are commonly used to save data to USB storage, solid-state drives, or devices such as memory card and the smartphone. EPROM. It is type of read-only memory that can be erased and programmed. Um, Erase and reprogram is repeatedly up to the 10,000 times. It is also known as a flash EPROM as it is similar to flash memory. It is erased and reprogrammed electrically without using ultraviolet light. It is used for storing a small amount of data in computer and electronic systems and devices such as circuit boards. The BIOS of a computer is stored in this memory. Additional information: hard disk drive or HDD. It is an electromechanical storage device which is an abbreviation of a hard disk drive. It uses magnetic storage for storing and retrieving digital data. It is a non-volatile storage device. RAM. It is stand for random access memory, is a hardware device generally located on the motherboard of a computer and act as an internal memory of CPU. RAM is a volatile memory, which means it does not store data or instructions permanently. Tape drive, a device that stores computer data on magnetic tape is known as a tape drive. A tape drive provides consequential access storage, unlike a hard disk drive, which provide direct access storage. Now next, an assembler is an program that converts instruction into written to low-level assembly code into machine code. An assembler converts assembly code into machine code like by line by line. And the last different type of assemblers include one pass assembler and load and go assemblers. So here we will see that all lines are true, and here we will see the key point. So an assembler is a program that convert instruction written in low level assembly code into machine code. True. This is a primary definition of an assembler. It translates human readable assembly language which use mnemonics like ADD, OV, JMP into the binary machine code sequences of OS and 1S that the computer CPU can directly execute. An assembler convert assembly code into the machine code line by line. So here assembler generally read the assembly language source program one line at a time, translate the mnemonic operation code and operate into their corresponding machine code, and then output the machine code. Although the overall process might involve multiple passes, like in two passes assemblers, the fundamental translation of a single instruction occur line by line. Now here we will see the different type of assemblers include one pass assembler and load and go assemblers. So there are two common type of classification of assembler. One pass assembler convert the code in a single scan but have limitation, particularly with forward references using a label before it is defined. Two pass assembler, the most common type, make two passes over the source code to handle all the references correctly. Load and go assemblers are a specific type of one pass assembler that immediately places the generated machine code into the memory and execute it, load and run it without creating a separate object file. Now next, which one of the following is not the function of operating system? So that is data classification. So data classification is not a function of the operating system. Data classification is on the other hand typically referred to categorizing and organizing data based on predefined criteria, which is not a core function of our operating system but may be handled by the application or specialized software. Booting. Booting is the process of starting up a computer system. It involve loading the operating system into memory and initializing various system components to prepare the computer for use. Disk management is a function of a operating system that involve managing store devices such as hard drive, SSD, and external storage. This include tasks such as paternizing, formatting, managing disk space. Now, process management is a critically function of the operating system that involve managing running program or process. This include allocating resources, schedule process for execution, and ensuring proper communication and synchronization between process. And so, process management is a critical function of the operating system that involve managing running program or process. This includes allocating resources, scheduling process for execution, and ensuring proper communication and synchronization between process. Now the next, identify the correct or incorrect. So here we will see the correct high level programming language are closer to human languages than the machine languages. ठीक है. A compiler translates a high level programming language into assembly. ये गलत है. Object oriented program focus on using object and classes. So high level programming languages are closer to human languages than machine languages. High level programming languages like Python, Java, or C++ are indeed designed to be more understandable by human using abstract concepts and that are more readable and writable compared to machine language that is binary code. So that is correct. A compiler translate a high level programming language into assembly, so that is wrong. While a compiler translate high level code to machine code, it does not typically convert it to assembly language. A compiler translate high level programming language into machine code, binary code, or intermediate form assembler. Not compilers translate assembly language to machine code. नेक्स्ट तो यहाँ देखेंगे जो क्या है, जो कंपाइलर होता है वो क्या कहता है, हाई को लेवल जो कोड है मशीन की, इसको टिपिकली कन्वर्ट नहीं करता असेंबली लैंग्वेज में. कंपाइलर क्या कहता है, ट्रांसलेट हाई प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज डायरेक्टली टू मशीन कोड. ठीक है, या फिर इंटरमीडिएट फ्रॉम द असेंबलर, नॉट कंपाइलर कंपाइलर ट्रांसलेट असेंबली लैंग्वेज टू मशीन कोड. Okay, now object-oriented programming focusing on using object and classes. So object-oriented program OOP is a paradigm that uses object instances of classes and classes to encapsulate data and method together, promoting code reuse and modularity. Now, digitizers is categorized under which of the following category of the device that is input. So digitizer is a refer to the input device peripheral of the hardware part of the computer. The main job of digitizer is to receive analog data like an input device and convert it into digital record. The process of receiving analog data like sound, light, and so on, and converting and storing them into file or computing device known as digitization. The example of digital can be digital camera. The lenses of camera capture the light and after processing it inside the camera convert into digital data and keep it an image. So here additional information, the word computer is derived from the word computer, compute. It in the year 1833 English mechanical engineer Charles Babbage designed the first analytical engine. He is known as the father of the computer. In the beginning, computer are used for calculating large number and can be only store a small computer amount of data. The software and the hardware part of the computer are running together to execute the operations smoothly. Software is a set of instruction or program given to the computer's hardware to perform a task. For example, system software, OS, application software, MS Office, browser, and programming software compiler. The hardware part of the computer are tangible part of the computer which collect the input keyboard, mouse, scanner, and process CPU. It is displayed to be respective output devices, example monitor and printer. Sometimes it store the process data into the memory. Next, which of the following format does the relation database management system store in data? Okay, which of the following format does the relational database management system store data? That is table. The data is kept in table structure that is designed to control data storage and alter data to provide information. Image के Hewlett Packard is created the image database management system DBMS which is bundled into HP 3000 mini computer. Text. The text column family is designed for high capacity character storage. There are four different sort of real text column: tiny text, medium text, and longest text. The only distinction between four text kind is the maximum amount of data that can be stored. Table. All of the data in the database is stored in the table, which are database computer. The data is logically arranged in a table using a row and column layout akin to the spreadsheet. Each column denotes a record field, such as row denote a distinct record. Graph. A graph database is a database that represents and stores data using graph topology using nodes, edge, and characters for a semantic query. The graph is a fundamental idea in the system. Now, which of the following is a programming software? So that is Visual Basic. So Visual Basic, it is an event-driving program, language and environment. It is from Microsoft and providing a graphical user interface GUI. It allows programmers to modify code by simply dragging and dropping objects and defining their behavior and appearance. Disk cleanup, it is a computer maintenance utility included in Microsoft Windows designed to free up disk space on a computer hard drives. Microsoft Windows, it is a group of several proprietary graphical operating system families developed and marked by the Microsoft. Again, Visual Basic क्या है? It is a event driven program language and environment. It is from Microsoft and provide a graphical user interface, and it allows programmers to modify code by simply dragging and dropping object and defining their behavior and appearance. This CleanCare, it is a computer maintenance utility included in Microsoft Windows designed to free up disk space on the computer hard drive. Microsoft Windows, it is a group of several proprietary graphical operating system family developed and marked by the Microsoft. Now, which of the following operating system is the better for implementing a client server networking? So that is Windows 2000. So Windows 2000 is the version of Windows introduced significant improvement in networking and security features, making it more appropriate for client server setup. It allows for easier administration of user accounts and permission, and it is more stable and reliable. Importantly, it also includes a version of internet information services of serving web pages, which can be an important part of client server network. Now, MS-DOS is a single user, single tasking operating system which is not capable of handling the multitasking and distributed process environment of a client server network. Windows 95 and 98. While these two offer some networking capabilities and are capable of running as a client in the client server network, they lack many of the robust enterprise focus features that are necessary for an operating system to function effectively as a server. Now, the memory that lost its content when the power supply is known as the volatile memory. So, volatile memory, it is a volatile memory. The information is stored till the computer is switched on. When the power is gone, the stored data is no longer available. RAM and cache memory are example of volatile memory. Non-volatile memory, in non-volatile memory, the data is maintained and even after the power is turned off. That is ROM, read-only memory. Now, which of the following is an example of utility program? That is all the option: antivirus, file compression, and network manager. So, all the option provided antivirus software, file compression, and network managers are example of utility programs. Utility programs are software designed to perform specific tasks that contribute to overall management and optimization of computer system. Antivirus software help protect the computer from malicious software and virus. File compression tools are used to reduce the size of file, making them easier to store and transfer. Network manager assists in managing and optimizing network resources and connection. Now, which of the following is a type of a malware embedded to a program of computer that will set off the malicious function and when certain conditions are met? So that is logic bomb. Malware is an instructive software that is designed to damage and destroy a computer and computer system. Malware is a contraction of a malicious software. A logic bomb. A logic bomb is a piece of a code intentionally inserted into a software system and that will set off all malicious function when specified conditions are met. Software that is inherently malicious, such as viruses and worm, often contain logic bomb that execute a certain payload at the predefined time and when some other condition is met. To be considered a logic bomb, the payload should be unwanted and unknown to the user of the software. A computer worm is a type of a malware that spread copies of it from the computer to computer. A worm can replicate itself without any human interaction, and it does not need to attach itself to the software program in order to cause damage. Trojan horse virus is a type of a malware that download onto the computer disguised as a legitimate program. The delivery method typically seen as attackers use social engineering to hide malicious code within the legitimate software to try and gain user system access with their software. Spyware is a type of a malware that is collect personal information and gather data about a person without consent. Viruses are type of a malicious software designed to spread from one device to another devices. So here, logic bomb is a type of a malware embedded in a program to computer that will set off all a malicious function when certain conditions are met. Now the next question: which of the following statement about Chrome is true? So that is third. It is a non-volatile memory. So Chrome is a program read-only memory. It is a non-volatile memory means data only be retained when the power is turned off. And PROM are used to digital electronic devices to store permanent data, usually low-level programs such as firmware or microcode. The key differences from the standard ROM is the data is written into the ROM during the manufacture, with while the ROM the data is programmed into them after manufacture. So here ROM tend to use only for the large production runs into well verified data. ROM may be used for where the volume required does not make a factory program. ROM economical or during the development of system that may ultimately be converted to ROM in the mass produced version. Now next, if you want to if you want the primary recipient to see that other have received a copy of an email, you should enter their email in the field. So that is C. So C stand for the carbon copy. When you add this mm, uh, recipient to the CC field to the email, it means that those people will receive a copy of an email and their addresses will be visible to other recipient, including the primary recipient in the two field. So these are the wrong. Now, which of the following statement ACR corrected about the hard disk HDD used as a storage device in computer? So only two are B and C. It is a non-volatile and it uses the magnetic properties to store data. Choose is the data. So we will read a hard disk drive क्या है HDD क्या है is a data storage device used to computer and other devices. It consists of a spinning disk you coated with magnetic material and moving read write head. It has no moving part. So this statement is incorrect. So hard disk drive HDD actually does have moving part. It consists of a spinning platter, is a disk coated with a magnetic materials, and these platers spin at the high speed while the read write head move across them to read and write data. The mechanical movement of the platers and the read and write head are integral to the function of the of an HDD. So it is a non-volatile. So this statement is correct. An HDD is a non-volatile storage device. This means that data stored on the HDD remain even when the power is turned off. This characteristic makes it suitable for a long-term data storage. So it uses magnetic properties to store data. So this statement is correct. HDD use magnetic field to store data on the spinning platers. The read and write head generates and detect these magnetic field to read and write data. Each platter is divided into tracks and sectors where the magnetic patterns represent the data. In summary, the accurate statement is B and C. HDD to have moving part, spinning platter, and read write head, making a statement A incorrect. Now the last question we will see. The component on motherboard does not include, so that is graphic card. So CMOS battery, BIOS chip, processing chip. So here we will see the circuit board of a computer system is referred as a motherboard, often known as the main board or logic board. The ROM, CPU, RAM, BIOS chip, CMOS battery, and other components are also connected to motherboard by various connections. The motherboard acts as a system building block when it first start to run. The motherboard is the biggest part of the computer system. It is a charge of connecting and regulating all the other parts. One or more processor core are including to an integrated circuit known as processor chip, commonly referred to as a CPU. The motherboard's BIOS settings are kept in the memory by CMOS battery, and the CMOS battery has the ability to store data and time as well. A non-volatile microscopic inserted on the computer motherboard called a BIOS chip frequently houses the basic input system of the device. Graphic card क्या है? Graphic card analyzes and process data using complex graphic features, function, and techniques to provide a high quality visual presentation. The purpose of the graphic card is to render graphics. Other computer cannot show any information or perform as we need it to without a graphic card. So answer these will be the correct And I hope you people will like this series, and we will continue this series till the examination. Thank you and God bless you all.